Welcome back to the desk, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Tom Battinger. I'm usually on that side of the desk, but if you guys have been catching up with the caster, you might recognize this young chap. His name is John Finch. He's going to be our special guest commentator today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here, Tom.
Glad to have you, absolutely. And you've been watching our first half of the day. How you feeling so far?
Oh, I'm excited, dude. We just saw Elevate 2-0 energy, so how could I not be? So it's been a crazy day so far.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But next up, Valance Squad versus the Papis.
Yeah, and I think Taco made a really important point about that in the last death segment. Y'all saw these early points, they really do matter so much, especially if Elevate can 2-0 energy. Then a team like Valance, they got to make sure they win these kind of matchups here against the Papis.
Yeah, when we look at something like strength of schedule, you always got to realize just how relatively strong that these teams are. So when we come out of the hiatus in between splits, right? You're talking about a series where the players might not be, they're a little rusty, right? Everybody kind of working towards it, but then as we look towards the end of the split, everybody has their wheelings and everybody's got their bearings and teams perform as you expect. So getting these early wins against Energy, very important for Elevate. Valance Squad of the Papis. Papis absolutely need to find these wins if they want to be a contender.
Yeah, they absolutely need to find these wins, and I absolutely need to see these picks and bans here, Tom. So let's go ahead and get those going so we can see what's happening here with this first game.
So for me, with the Papis, with the first pick, I'm looking for them to really isolate out things that they know Valance Squad want to play. Although the Arlong Shen ban here, I don't mind that. He's very strong at the moment.
I got to agree with you here. Erlong's one of those gods you got to ban, but if you got to ban Erlong, then you definitely got to ban Ardio, and that's what we see Valance take out here first. Very often you see the second position do that too. Camazot's also banned out by Papis.
Faeles, a very strong player, not just for Valance Squad, but in his own right, leaving that previous Elevate roster, coming up to join these people. Very strong player. Camazot's a character that can dive well, can farm well, early, late, just devastating. Take it away from a strong jungler like Faeles.
Scotty also banned out there for Valance, so Papis go ahead and take Chulainn there as their #1 pick overall. What is it that makes Chulainn so strong in the solo lane that Papis like, we got to pick it first?
I mean, it's the ability, it's just the ability to really devastate players in that lane. Really a strong bully. You've got the built-in mystical mail once you sort of get online, just venting that anger, and you're able to just clear the wave while beating the enemy up, similar to what we saw of gods like Osiris and Arlong Shen.
Terra and Nemesis then locked in for Valance Squadron. We saw Terra be an absolute monster earlier here today, so not surprised there. Then Jing and Ganesha locked in for the Papis as well.
Nemesis on the side of Valance Squadron, one of my favorite selections right now. I just don't think you can go wrong with this character. A lot of times when you're picking individual choices for any position, they can be shut down. There's counteractive, there's counter gods, etc. When it comes to Nemesis, you're almost never going to be in a bad spot. You always want to deal percent damage. You always want to shred protections. She's just a fantastic all-around selection.
And we're seeing her being played a little bit more flex lately. You can either go like sort of just damage for the slice and dice, but we saw the auto attack, the in-hand build earlier too. So you got some options with Nemesis, and you got some options with Sun Wukong, who we see locked in for Valance, likely to be their solo laner. Also see some strong bans, Serket and Owl banned out, and then AMC and Hui banned out for Papis.
We keep seeing this amusing cop ban out. He's considered to be strong, I think, over here in Europe. We saw Lawbster play him in the mid lane last week, so Papis specifically looking at Valance Squad. But we also saw an AMC ban in one of the earlier sets here. His wave clear is just so strong, I think players are a little scared of it.
Yeah, very likely he's doing well in scrims or something like that too, for him to be getting these bans across multiple different games. One god, though, I'm sure Papis are wishing they could have had the chance to ban, though. Chronos coming out for Valance Squadron. He can be a terror. And then Ravana and Morrigan picked in for the Papis.
Again, just like AMC was banned specifically against Valance Squad, perhaps they should have thought about Chronos as well. Lawbster and Funballer both have a top-tier Chronos when you ask me about it. It's a very scary choice here. And next to the Medusa, I think that it solidifies that Lawbster's going to be playing Chronos.
Oh, yeah.
I'm afraid if I'm the Papis.
Yeah, the real problem, though, is Papis went ahead and picked up Morrigan, so that kind of means they can have their own Chronos if they want to. Tom, at any point in the game, she can just be someone else. That's pretty nuts, right?
The Morrigan, and because of that, the Morrigan remains to be one of the higher skill cap characters in our game. So I'm sitting here, MrNazer, new to this squad for the Papis. Normally we used to see a different mid laner there. Now he's going to be taking over for this season. So this is what I'm asking. MrNazer, are you good enough to play the Morrigan? I hope so, because strong Morrigan play is one of the most exciting things to watch in competitive Smite.
And something I want to ask you about the Morrigan while we're talking about her, we kind of see two different styles from her, where we see kind of just like blow you up, straight coming at you down the middle, and then we also see using that stealth very well, coming around the back line of the team fights. Based on what we're seeing from Valance, how do you want to see MrNazer playing at this game?
Well, the two different routes to get to the same spot, blow you up in one shot.
Yeah.
That's really what you're looking for. And I mean, honestly, with the way Valance Squad is built up, I don't care if MrNazer is coming out over the top or if he's being sneaky about it, but more than likely you're going to see that stealth utilized.
We do see one ward over here on that left-hand side of the map. Looks like that's in favor of the Papis. So just wanted to get an eye on where Valance Squadron's going to be earlier here in this game. We are seeing both Dheylo and Faeles over here in the solo lane side, so both junglers wanting to hang out and help their solo laners.
I love this approach to the game right now, in that you can start in a lot of the games at home and ranked per se, it's the jungler generally is in the middle lane, but right now it's very flexible. You can start your jungler in the solo, and because of that we see our supports in the mid lane, leaving the hunters alone. Meanwhile, you watch last, that energy doesn't let you do that. They're going to bully out your hunter with two players in the duo lane. So really what you're looking for is you want to find the best clear possible to assist your teammates getting the buffs. I think that's most important. Here you see Dheylo help Creed get that blue buff.
MrNazer here in a lot of trouble. Actually, they're able to turn it back around onto BigManTingz. Strong rotation from Dheylo, and that's the first blood in favor of the Papis.
Out of nowhere, the early blink always kind of risky.
Yeah.
Risk versus reward. If you look across the way at Valance Squadron, do you need beads? Well, if you can turn around, you're not going to get stunned at a Lawbster. Roots and slows are a lot of what you're looking at Valance Squadron. So Dheylo, he's got the opportunity with that overhand kick to avoid some of the crowd control that Valance Squad offers. In comes the blink, able to make plays like that early on.
Oracles go in favor of Valance Squadron, so despite Papis getting that first blood, Valance are able to find some places back here on the map to get back some farm. You were talking a little bit earlier about our various starts. I want to also point out over here in the duo lane, like you said, we saw sort of that pseudo solo lane over here. The ADCs were left alone as Ducky getting a lot of pressure put in on him. Dheylo once again is the one driving the pressure here on the map. Goes in for the overhead kick, and that's going to be enough damage to put Ducky in the ground now.
Ducky just sitting there praying. I need the cooldown for the animals. Give me the animals. Give me the animals. They just didn't come. The slows out of Dheylo, so tremendous, so early. And this is going to be troublesome for them. Having a Ravana ahead is really, really... Last week we got to see what happens when Ravana doesn't get a lead. And unfortunately, Valance Squad did not look too hot there. When Ravana does have a lead, all of a sudden he's allowed to do whatever he wants. That said, 2 kills, still half a level behind Faeles.
Yeah, Faeles actually leading us in the XP per minute mark, which we see that chart over there on the left. So despite all those kills going the way of Dheylo, he might be getting a little more gold out of it, but Faeles is staying even in that experience. So I like to see that. Where do you think he's able to get some of that advantage or stay even with them? I
mean, it's just the ability to go ahead and farm very efficiently. And when you're playing the Nemesis, this is kind of where he wants to be at. The Ravana has to force himself to be ahead. Ravana has to create these plays.
Yeah, MrNazer getting good poke here onto Lawbster. There actually forces out the Aegis from Lawbster, so that was a really good patience. But also the ultimate comes out from MrNazer, so it was Aegis for ult there for MrNazer.
Yeah, I think MrNazer thought he had more damage than he actually did. But you know, coming back to this Nemesis Ravana combination or opposition, 2 ends of the spectrum. Ravana needs to create these plays to put himself in a position to enable him to become a catalyst. Notice all of these proactive words I'm using. Whereas when it comes to Faeles on the Nemesis, a lot of times you got to go, look, man, I know you're getting hurt over there. I got to ignore that so I can get my levels on. The more points in that ultimate, the quicker you're going to do percent damage, the harder you're going to shred those protections. And at the end of the day, Nemesis, not only do you need the ranks as far as the levels are concerned, one of the most item-dependent characters in the game. So absolutely farm, farm, farm. I'll see you later.
And that puts a lot of pressure on the Papis too, because once Faeles starts to get towards the late game, like you're saying, it's very difficult to deal with that Nemesis. That's one more thing to look out for. Just like he needs to look out for BigManTingz here in the mid lane. Lots of damage coming out from Lawbster's ultimate as well, and BigManTingz gets the credit.
Just a quick collapse, no time for MrNazer to go ahead and react. There's no analysis there. Homie was standing still, got hit with an ultimate, and then got bonked back to base. Sometimes it's just that simple.
And not even like he was out out of position. He was basically at his tower line. Just sometimes it happens like that, where someone's hanging out in your jungle, ready to rock on you, and that's what we saw happen there. But it looks like now we got Valance going in, getting control of those oracles. Those have been there pretty much all game, it seemed like.
Yeah, Valance Squad, big attention being paid over there to the left side of the map, especially because of the fact that they want to make sure that they can sort of control that area. Lawbster on the Medusa does have a pretty decent way of defending specifically against the Gold Fury. I love watching teams sort of, they're tanking the Gold Fury, and then Medusa ult comes around the side, stuns 3 of them. So the Papis have to be aware of that, and that's why Valance Squad want to maintain vision of that side, kind of force Papis to go ahead and play some wards.
About a 400 or so gold lead that we're seeing for the Papis here as there's more engage on that right-hand side. Ducky brought down to about 30% health or so that was strong usage there of the ultimate Creed since he was about to come out of that rage form anyway. But really, they're still very close here, very much at parity, so I like the pressure we're seeing so far.
Yeah, again, that little bit of a lead for the Papis is important to mention. You can see it's almost stretched out to about 1,000 gold, and it's important for Ravana to be able to utilize this time. He needs to get off and going, because right now 1,000 gold, 500 gold separating the two teams, that is sort of it's a false lead, because later on you're just going to have a caught up Nemesis. So you got to be careful about this character.
And I think Papis are recognizing that there too, though the right-hand side of the map is very covered with wards for the Papis,
right.
So they're definitely trying to see where they can get some more pressure thanks to Dheylo. Maybe either seeing Lawbster rotate over as Funballer's under a little bit of aggression, or try and get something onto Ducky as well.
Funball with the aggression himself, 1 versus 2 in the enemy jungle, just pushing his luck there and really not coming up dry.
Oh, that's just like Funballer, though. If you had just said that was a play that happened and asked me to put an ADC's name on it, probably would have said Funballer there. He is very aggressive over there in that dual lane.
Yeah, he always has really enjoyed, being the aggressive player, going all the way back. Funball goes back to the days of Launch Tournament, played on a team called Team Coast with Variety, if I'm not mistaken, and he's been aggressive since then. I don't think he's changing anytime soon.
Yep, looks like right now those mid lane waves are all pushed up there, so that's why we're seeing this aggression on the right-hand side. Looking like trying to contest the speed buff, but it does get taken down by Dheylo. Faeles is the one who ends up very low as the ultimate comes out from Dheylo here in this fight. Faeles trying to do his best to get out, but he gets caught up with by Creed.
One more, they have to jump forward, and that's going to be Ducky underneath the tower. Fantastic cover-up. And the old monkey decoy is still dealing damage to Creed, but Dracomarino on the backside is good.
Yeah, that ends up being a 2-for-1 overall there as Dheylo and MrNazer fall for Papis. Just Faeles that falls out for Valance Squadron, so a good fight for the Papis here early.
And again, this is what Nemesis sort of needs to do. Started the engagement with the slice and dice, goes ahead, provides the ultimate. If Nemesis dies there, obviously you don't want her to, but the job at this point of the game has already been done. Nemesis is going to basic attack you down later. Right now, you got boots, and at that point in time, that's it. Your ultimate's a lot more important.
Yeah, Creed commits the ultimate there to try and help secure this blue buff. Ducky's
got
in
no
a
ult.
bad spot.
He's got no ult.
Spot, and he gets taken down easily. He was just a little too aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, that was real credit to the Papis, understanding that Ducky did not have an ultimate, was able to lock him down. Everything that Ducky did there was just not the right thing to do. Being that deep, that low, without the Sun Wukong ultimate, you just can't do that, especially in the enemy blue buff. One way out, and it's blocked by 3 Papis.
Faeles was lurking around over there on that solo lane side. Not able to get much out of it, though, so he ends up backing off. Now it's Warchi and MrNazer going for these oracles. BigManTingz was local, but he really wasn't able to do much about it there, so just got to let those go.
So again, we were talking about how important it was for Valance Squad to have vision of the Gold Fury early on. One of the things that I didn't mention is the fact that the Papis have a traditional hunter, a physical hunter, with those Devo gloves. 48 stacks so far. Once that's up to 70, which is not that far away, theoretically, Warchi can solo the Gold Fury. With vision belonging to the blue team, Warchi can sit there and basically every opportunity pull gold. Wait, see if somebody shows up, and if they do, he leaves, no harm, no foul. But if nobody shows up, there's a free Gold Fury. So definitely something Valance Squad has to be careful of, and I expect to see some wards because of it.
Yeah, and Warchi's getting the most out of that Jing Wei passive too. I think that's why we see him so far ahead in items, even though their net worth is actually pretty close. He's just been able to go back, buy stuff, and just fly back to lane. So it's been an advantage he's had over here. There's kind of a bit of a grouping over here by those elementals. They do go the way it looks like a Valance Squadron.
Yeah, it's the last group of elementals. Fire Giant's going to be spawning in about 10 minutes, and then he'll be replaced. Those elementals will be replaced by the poor Lehman. So something to keep in mind here. Expecting a fight. Faeles looked like he wanted it, but I think Dracomarino kind of scared him away there.
Yeah, Dracomarino looks like he was the one that ends up going a little too
Oh,
far. He
troublesome.
gets turned on. All three ultimates here. Looks like they were committed on him. He's standing inside his own, but it won't be enough. And then at the last minute, Dheylo goes in and try and help out too, and now he looks like he's in trouble. He gets back out. MrNazer comes over too with his ult, but at this point, the fight just seems to be over.
BigManTingz, MVP of that play. So Valance Squad, actually, that's a really positive look if you're a fan of this team, because a lot of times you're able to sort of plan that out. That was not an opportunity, that was planned. All of a sudden, Dracomarino dashes forward, and all three of those players just have to go, hey man, this is an opportunity. Just like this, Creed to the tower, 25% HP.
Yeah, Creed able to return a good bit of damage though, and that's why MrNazer was here as well to get a bunch of damage onto Lawbster and BigManTingz. So Creed sends both of them back to the base, or at least they do both die there. So big turnaround that we're seeing there for the Papis, and now you go take the Gold Fury.
Yeah, Warchi started this Gold Fury before that fight was going on. His teammates used the fight to basically zone out for the Hunter, and now the Hunter's just gonna go ahead and finish it. Ducky shows up, forces him off. And backside, MrNazer's pretty low.
Yeah, that was a good defense by Ducky. He's actually going to be able to take out MrNazer with a nice knockup and then his ultimate. Dheylo also cleaning up Funballer there on the backside. Ultimate coming out from BigManTingz, or Dracomarino, as he's back in this engagement after taking that spill earlier. Ducky, though, does fall.
Warchi makes this call going all the way back to the tower dive, or the counteract of the tower dive in the mid lane. Warchi says, hey, I've got my stacks, I'm starting the Gold Fury. Go make noise. His team goes and makes noise in the middle lane, starts a fight, actually gets a kill because of it, and even though they haven't been able to get the Gold Fury here, that fight, still a win. I would have liked to see the Papis get the Gold Fury, but step by step, Finch. Step by step.
Yeah, Papis do go back and at least get those oracles, so they do have vision over there, and that is some more gold that goes in their favor. I want to talk a little more about that fight in mid lane, though. That was all aggression, really, from Valance Squadron. They even took the speed buff on that side of the map there, too, and it just gets turned around very well by Papis, because MrNazer is able to rotate back in now. So we can see at this point here that gold lead is about, still at about 1,000 gold for the Papis, so they are still ahead, but it's not a whole lot.
Overstaying your welcome is what happened in the middle lane. Valance Squadron gets a victory, and then they back off. And the Papis, MrNazer jumps in and is kind of like being not intelligent about the situation. So Valance Squad decides, okay, hey, we're going to go back into it. Well, the call went out for reinforcements when you dove the tower the first time. After the fact, and then after the fact, people are obviously behind the corner, guys. So the counterplay from Papis gets two players in the mid lane, transfer over. There's power on the left side of the map. The Papis are able to win that fight as well. That's just, I mean, you got to be aware of the time. Sometimes time in Smite can feel like it's going a zillion miles way too fast. But the point is that after two engagements, somebody's showing up.
Yeah, Lawbster did just back there in the middle lane, and now the Papis, thought they might be trying to move over there towards the Gold Fury, but that was out of their sight. They weren't able to recognize it, so now they're rotating over here. It looks like more towards this right-hand side, or at least Dracomarino is coming over here as well. So this is where we can see our next point of contention, is that Gold Fury on the map. That's why there's two sentry wards over on that side, trying to establish some kind of vision control.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a deadlock game here, nice and tied. Valance Squad don't want to be this tide. And as we said, Warchi is always going to be that threat of looking for the solo Gold Fury, but
yeah, here it comes, actually. It's getting started up by Valance Squad only. It looks like Warchi here is nearby. Actually, MrNazer here as well.
Way too quick.
It looks like the ultimate was secured by Lawbster, so that does go the way of Valance Squadron, and they don't even have to worry about a fight. They just get to take it and go.
Yeah, way too quick. That just can't happen if you're the Papis.
Yep.
Yeah, you've had control of this game for a little bit, and then it's sort of evened out. But at that point in time, you absolutely can't allow that to happen. No vision, no response. Warchi shows up. He is probably the last person on the team that wants to try and confirm that one, but even nothing that he as the hunter could have done. The Papis just need to be more aware. That was rough.
The Papis just weren't local. I mean, they've got vision over there on that side of the map. I just don't think that they were, you know, like around to try and do anything about it or to change what was happening there for them. We got just, you know, a couple of slaps and exchanges happen over here for Valance, but it's actually Dheylo who actually commits the ultimate, and nothing really comes of it.
Yeah, absolutely nothing, actually. Nobody even turns around on Valance Squad. I mean, Dheylo just showed up and kind of apologized for missing and walked home. I mean, what are you going to do?
3 members here in the mid lane, though. Dracomarino knows he's fine. He's a big old elephant, so I guess he doesn't have a whole lot to worry about there in the mid lane as Dheylo takes these oracles. Oh, not oracles, but harpies over here on this side. Oracles actually being taken by Warchi. So maybe I was just looking at 2 plays on the map at once.
Probably, but they're going to be interrupted here. One goes to Valance Squad and split down the middle. No vision either way.
Talking about vision, though, it's actually over there on that portal demon. And this is sort of the point I was making earlier. Papis have a lot of wards here on the map, so I'm looking to them to be able to respond a little bit faster next time if they do have another push onto one of these objectives here on the side of Valance Squadron. And this is what you were saying earlier, is that the Papis kind of need this game to be over sooner rather than later with the Nemesis and Chronos on the side of Valance Squadron, and it's Valance the ones that are able to get these objectives.
Exactly. When you look toward Ducky and Lawbster, yeah, they're sort of mid-game powerhouses.
And Portal Demon's being started up here too. Yeah, it looks like Dracomarino trying to rotate over to make something happen about it, but it might have been more of a bait here than actually going for the objective itself. Trying to get the stun on Dracomarino, but it's Creed here who's isolated on the back line, but he's way too tough for them to go after.
He's got friends right around the corner. That's something the Papis have absolutely improved on. If you watch Energy in their more successful times, they operate under what I call the buddy system. Nobody is ever out of range. That's what the Papis have been doing well. MrNazer, though, in trouble here, going to cut down very low.
Yeah, MrNazer does get deleted here by Ducky, and it looks like at this point in the team fight, Funballer is able to take out Dheylo, too. A lot of damage coming out from well-placed ult by Dracomarino, but Funballer brings in plenty of damage, too.
And the damage out of that Chronos, incredible. Really able to control that team fight. He's #1 of the net worth, and for good reason. He's just farming it up. Look at that, 2 kills in that engagement, and he is not even, I mean, Ratatouille is really where we see the liftoff. He has the penetration, though, and once that Obsidian Shard gets finished, all of a sudden, he's just cutting through a lot of the defenses that the enemies have. 3, just nice play.
Valance Squadron does end up taking 3 kills and the Portal Demon there in that fight, so the gold lead now is extended up to about 2,000 in their favor. So very strong their fight for Valance Squadron. The XP difference as well is at about 2,800. So now we're starting to get to the point where Valance Squadron are sort of turning the corner here at 17 minutes. They also get this tier 1 tower on the right-hand side as well.
A lot of times we see the Portal Demon taken just sort of as a consolation prize or the objective that you go for because the Gold Fury's down and the Fire Giant's too big at the moment. 100 gold, a little bit of experience, not so hot. But we actually get to see one of the usages of it via the map. They come out of the fountain and look right for that siege on the right side, and then one right in the middle lane as well.
Yeah, they do not let up on the aggression, does Valance Squadron. They push in on that middle lane. A good job there by Ducky going in with that Tiger form to try and get a stun out. But Warchi here on this left-hand side is trying to get some kind of answer back with this tier 1 tower. But Chronos and BigManTingz are making a rotation over, so Jing is going to need to get out of here.
Yeah, keyword is trying. Level 17 versus 17 here. Chronos lands the first shot, looking for the fight.
Funballer here able to get a bunch of damage off. It's BigManTingz, though, who tries to get the root out. Warchi turns it back around and blows Funballer up before any kind of ultimate can come out in the engagement. Now it's BigManTingz forced to retreat as Dheylo comes in over the top with the dunk.
Lobby around the backside, looking to control the rest of the team so that BigManTingz can get out safely. Warchi says no, comes through with the dive bomb, and Dracomarino, oh, MrNazer invisible. Not going to do the damage.
Warchi's been huge in this team fight here so far, picking up 2 kills for him, as well as finally taking down that tier 1 tower. I kind of thought they were going to keep pushing there, but I think this is the smarter call. Come back here, get the oracles, establish vision control here, because that Gold Fury is very close to respawning. Looks like about 10 seconds.
Dracomarino! I've been talking about this guy since we've seen him play. The team is getting better. The Papis consistently have improved, and Dracomarino and Dheylo have been the guys guys I'm talking about a lot, but for good reason. Did you see how the Dark Pillars came down on Dracomarino, using the pillar to block the character away from his hunter, allowing his hunter to clean everything up, and that leads him right to the Gold Fury.
Which was very well zoned by Dracomarino, who you were just talking about. Warchi, though, still not ready to back off. He knows he's swinging at this point in the game. I didn't dash aggressively. Go ahead and back off. We got the Gold Fury, the tier 1 tower, 2 kills. That's going to be enough for us to back off, said the Papis.
I thought he was going in.
Me too.
I really thought we were going to see Warchi.
He's
just
feeling
go
himself.
Off. And for good reason. The Papis, this is one of the better games that the Papis have been playing, but what is this?
This is a strong call from Valance Squadron is what it is. They come over here for the Fire Giant because they know a lot from the Papis are going to be backing. And that's what's happening. They're just chilling in mid lane because they don't think that this call's happening. This Fire Giant's going to go down
they
for
have no
free.
idea. They had no clue.
Yeah.
Sacred Fire Giant. Oh, that's one of my favorites, Finch. I love it. They had no idea. The Papis, realistically, that window is open because the Papis pick up the Gold Fury and Valance Squad intelligently fought into them. They brought the Papis down low enough. As you mentioned, the Papis have to go back and back to base after all is said and done. So Valance Squad goes, okay, you might have won the battle, but we're gonna win the war, whatever the phrase may be, right? And the little versus the big is what I'm trying to say here, okay? The Fire Giant goes down. Now Valance Squad, I mean, that was just an excellent, that is the difference between a veteran team that has all the experience and understanding of the true meta game and one of the more inexperienced teams, the Papis, who just, why would they go for the Fire Giant there? They just lost a fight.
And that's what we saw from experienced teams too, like Pain Devion when he was on Enemy, like from Energy. That's why they've been dominant for years and years. They never just give something up on the map. They recognize where there's room for them to go back and pick something up. And they're not just taking the Fire Giant and sitting back. They're taking the Fire Giant and they're taking the tier 1 tower over here and left as well. They're going to put their foot in the gas.
I mean, Funball on one of the best characters to actually shred towers, with a Fire Giant buff on top of it. Yeah, I'm going to the bank. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit on my hands right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is a strong call we're seeing here from Valance Squadron. Grouping up here as 4. We're actually seeing Faeles here on the right-hand side, trying to keep Dheylo from being a part of this team fight as BigManTingz pushes in.
Yeah, you see that a number of times. The jungler or the solo lane will zone one player out, notably because, 1, they want to keep them away from the team fight, and also 2, they have the split push potential in and of themselves. Nemesis can absolutely handle a tower, no problem, so sort of twofold. She's there to control Dheylo, and also if things turn up well, she'll just split push.
Valance Squadron waiting here for that the minion wave to catch up so they can start pushing in here to the tier 1 tower. Who's our initiation factor? Before even a Gadas gets Dracomarino, he drops down the ultimate and blinks on in to try and get out tons of damage here, but it's Funballer who's wrecking through the back line.
And the beautiful ultimate out of Lawbster is going to slow down 3 separate players. And that's going to be the dance between the 4v4 way deep as Ducky. And he's able to get out of there thanks to the ultimate earlier on. And now we finally see the rotation from our junglers. Faeles keeping Dheylo out of the fight.
Valance Squadron get what they want there. They force out the Papis. They weren't able to stick around any longer. So that tier 2 tower, don't want to call it free because there was a fight there, but it's not going to be contested anymore. And they're rotating over here, looks like, to that mid lane tower as well. Sort of the typewriter, as you like to call it.
Paid in advance. That's what we see out of Valance Squad. They put their down payment and snatch away that 1,500 on the left-hand side. Now rotating to the mid, like you were saying, and this is where everybody all groups up. This is the 5-on-5, and BigManTingz with that ultimate down. Look for Faeles to be a big deal. He's got his ultimate here.
Ducky going in, trying to get some damage off. We're seeing a lot from BigManTingz here, getting some sustain out from Terra, so don't forget that's something that she brings very well also to the team fights. Tier 2 tower in mid falls, and let's head over here to that solo lane side and take this tier 2 as well, as we still got that Fire Giant going.
Yeah, that one looked easy. Valance Squad didn't really need to commit, and that would be by design. The Papis are like, look, man, we don't need to lose a fight under a tier 2 tower. Not really something we're interested in. A fight of the Portal Demon, not something we're really interested in. But going forward, the Papis have to find out what they are interested in. I think they should defend, if not under this tier 2 tower, underneath the Phoenix. The Fire Giant buff is going to go away very soon. The time in between this Fire Giant falling off and the next Fire Giant respawning is about a minute or so. That's when I want to see the Papis turn up and react. They're only down about 5,000 gold here, John. They can absolutely fight into Valance Squad if they have the right situation.
Valance Squad smartly go back and spin that 5K gold lead you were just talking about here after securing the gold lead. So they're going to come back they were already winning team fights. Now they're going to be even further ahead here in this fight.
Very important that they go ahead and spend that gold, because, I mean, gold lead in hand is inherently nothing unless you're a Fafnir, haha. But when you're looking at the actuality, as soon as that fire giant despawns, they know that the Papis are going to be looking for the fight. So spend that gold, make that money, and be able to stack up your protections or offenses either way. Look at this play by the Papis, though. Easy gold.
Yeah, they're mirroring what Valance Squadron did to them earlier, just sort of in reverse. They recognize that Valance got it back after taking Portal Demon, so we'll just take the Gold Fury here on this side. But a team fight is breaking out here, and it's Lawbster the one that's under a lot of pressure here. It's Dheylo and MrNazer that are going in under, putting a lot of damage, but the shield comes out, and that's going to be enough to try and deter some of the damage here from him.
There's the ultimate out of Faeles, and now everybody's looking at Creed, and he's just gone. Number 10 for Valance Squad, tying up the kills and maintaining their gold lead. The chase is on with the sprint, just barely missing. It's going to be Funball, and everybody's in the middle lane.
Funballer and Faeles are not ready to give up on this engagement here just yet. MrNazer uses the stealth to try and get away, but he ends up getting deleted, as does Dheylo. It's a 4-for-1 so far in favor of Valance Squad, and 4v1. They're going to come in and start pushing down this mid lane Phoenix.
Yeah, this mid lane Phoenix should go down relatively quickly. Funball, Faeles, Ducky, BigManTingz. They're going to chase down Draco. He'll fall down nice and easy. 18 seconds on Creed, 25 seconds on Nazer, 15 on Warchi. Not enough to finish the game. Valance Squad going to go back. Hey, guess who's respawned?
Lawbster will respawn.
The fire giant, buddy.
Giant. Hey, I'm paying attention to the map here, Tom. Don't try and give me any trick questions here. They're going back for the fire giant. Valance Squadron want to have that, so they can take that last tier 2 tower, and then those two Phoenixes, easy as peasy, and they're going to come back in looking strong.
Do they wait for Lawbster? Lobster,
6 seconds?
5,
I think you can wait.
4. Nah, hit it before Lobster spawns. Hit it before Lobster spawns. Aw, they stopped their DPS to allow their mid laner to get it. That's nice. That's not the Valance Squad I know.
Yeah, that was nice of him to try and do it, but you know Funballer was probably the one making the same calls you were in the game.
That was a live listening. Funball was saying, get it before Lobster spawns. You know for a fact. But no, honestly, I think really, jokes aside, this is a tight match.
Yeah.
And this is a lot tighter than I think Valance Squad intended, anticipated, expected, or wanted. And coming down to it, I think that had the gap between these two teams been 10, 11K, Lobster's get that fire giant. But I think Valance Squad are going, oh no. And they have to go ahead and play the game right.
Yeah, and you're right to mention that the game was very close. I think it kind of blew open for Valance Squadron with that portal demon that they snuck away from him. At that point, it was kind of in control of the Papis. Valance Squadron make the really smart play call, and that's when the game starts blowing open. That's when they get Fire Giant, start taking down towers, and now they're the ones to the driver's seat trying to come down for this left-hand Phoenix.
Well, Warchi's been playing fantastic today.
Yes.
The Papis usually rely on their jungle and their support player, and Dracomarino has been a huge part of what's allowed the Papis to really stay relevant in this game. But Warchi taking a step up today, looking real strong. 3-1-1, and you can see there number 4 on the player damage charts, and that's not fake poke damage that's coming out. He's a real big part of all these team fights, and he's been real impressive to watch today. He's a fan favorite. He's a big streamer, and a lot of times we don't actually get to see him come out and really swing the bat, so to speak, and Warchi right now just crushing it.
Right now, the Papis are pushing up the mid lane and the right lane to try and give themselves as much breathing room as they can before Valance Squadron come in and start trying to make what could likely be their final push here. Certainly don't want to call the game over before it's over, but I hope that's what Valance Squadron at least are thinking as they start trying to pile down here. Looks like left-hand side is going to be the call for them.
Yeah, that's where the look is again. BigManTingz separated for the rest of the squad over there in the mid lane. 4 players grouped up on the left-hand side. This Phoenix has respawned. Or never was attacked, excuse me. So Valance Squad looking to make their push on the Phoenix furthest away from the Fire Giant, Smite 101, the most valuable.
Yeah, literally the Smite basics, yeah. So if you guys defend the mini waves over here on the left-hand side, it's pretty hard to be over there at the Fire Giant on the right-hand side. Valance Squadron just coming down here doing their basics, trying to take out this left-hand side. Minion wave, though, is coming in, and I think BigManTingz is ready to try and make the engagement happen here now. Dracomarino ultimate comes out once again. He's been doing a great job of those, but Lawbster's the one that's half health. Dheylo does the up-down on top of Faeles to try and turn that kill around, and they do. MrNazer is able to secure the kill.
And with the death of Faeles, that's going to open up a big window for the Papis. Now looking even more so for Lawbster, who, after the Aegis is down, turns right back around, and Funball is able to take down Creed. 1 for 1 so far.
Yeah, with Faeles missing here, there is a lot of damage missing for Valance Squadron, but it's okay because Funballer is swinging like a whole bag full of trucks right now, and they're going in for that left side Phoenix, able to put lots of damage on top of it.
And here we go. A little bit of a back off here. Players not really sure what they want to do. Ducky is just sort of slapping around on the backside, but there's the commit. Full commit onto MrNazer. The Aegis goes down, Finch, and so does the mid lane.
Keeps him alive for just a moment, but it's just not enough. Ducky gets the credit for it. Mid lane Phoenix respawns, so Valance Squadron back off, take that down first before they regroup, and looks like they're going to take the right side Phoenix here too. Very smart. Make sure there's as little health on this Titan as possible before they go in for that final push.
Dracomarino so tanky and allowing his teammates to do so much, but unfortunately, as soon as the 50 protections fall, so does Dheylo. Not enough to really control the team. Creed's up. The staggered deaths are very important for the Papis right here. It's bad to go in 1 by 1, but going in 3 or 4, that allows you to make sure that not everybody dies at once, and you're able to actually have a defense as Valance Squad tries to end the game.
BigManTingz goes in on Warchi here, who's been doing a lot of the damage for the Papis. He's able to get a ton of poke back off onto BigManTingz, but over here on the right-hand side, it's Funballer the one that's getting knocked up. Valance Squadron respond to that poke well and decide to back off. We can regroup and take this fight later.
Great defense coming out for the Papis. Again, very important to see that they're staggering their deaths like that. Very important to see some of those strong plays. Early onto the team fight on the left side, Creed went all the way back, dove Lawbster, kept him out of the fight because a strong Medusa ult can really change things. So kept him out, brought him low enough to force out the Aegis. Unfortunately, then there was the collapse. Everybody turned around and looked right at Creed, and that's sort of what allowed Valance Squad to go off after that.
Valance Squadron do secure that Portal Demon, and it's perfect timing because we are 4 seconds from that Fire Giant coming back up. They'll get that around their waist before they make their final attempt at coming back in here and trying to siege the Titan room of the Papis. There's no way Papis can contest this either. They're going to have to look to just trying to make some kind of Titan defense.
Yeah, this one's going to be easy as far as the objective is concerned. The game, a little bit different. It's been a hard fight for Valance Squad so far.
Yeah, I don't think that you can say the Papis were free this game at all, especially through earlier in the game. They did a really good job making sure that they stayed even with them. But again, a strong call from Valance Squadron kind of blew this up, and they haven't let their foot up off the gas since then. It's been open highway for Valance Squadron as they ride on in here to the Titan room.
Grouped up as a 4 here in the middle lane, and there's going to be a jump in coming out from Dheylo, and Creed again diving the back line, trying to keep the carries out of everything.
Yeah, Creed trying to do what he can to disrupt the back line, but it's him that gets disrupted as he and Dracomarino both get blown up very quickly. Now it's MrNazer who's in a lot of trouble, trying to get the thorns off in the back line is Dheylo, but he also falls. Now it's only Warchi actually gets the return kill onto Faeles, but at this point it's 4v1. All the damage they need is still up, and Valance Squadron look to end.
Lawbster and Funball, the 2 basic attack characters, going absolutely incredibly off here. Faeles, big part of it. Very important ultimates, very important control by way of the slice and dice slows. But when you look at that player damage and you look at the individual team fights, it's just Funball and Medusa going off. Love to see the veterans make it happen.
No, you're exactly right. Funball and Medusa did have a whole bunch of damage, but you can't say it's as if they did alone. Ducky was in there doing a lot of setup for them as well, putting them in a position to sort of wreck through the back line of the Papis.
8-2 and 7 for that Chronos is how Funball winds up ending. And just an incredible performance. And it's what we've expected. It's what we expect out of Funball at this point in time. And then you compare it, or combine him, with what Lawbster was able to do on the Medusa. And this is how you expect Valance Squad to go. Papis, though, closer than I thought.
Absolutely. I think a big part of that was Dracomarino's play. Dracomarino did an excellent job here in this engagement. Every time you saw him put out his Dharmic pillars, they were in perfect positionings to try and get out as much damage as possible, reduce as much protections as possible. So I think you're right. Papis were not easy this game.
Yeah.